Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to our channel. So today for y'all we have a few different charcuterie boards to show you. Now they're not the traditional charcuterie boards. This is just basically how we kind of put things together and make it look pretty and kind of on the charcuterie board trend. But the first one we're going to start with is a sweet breakfast one. One thing to remember with your charcuterie boards is that everything needs to be finger foods or a way to get it with your hands. Because with charcuterie, it's okay to eat with your hands. But pick what your base is going to be. So I like using cutting boards. They're multifunctional. Plus, a lot of mine have the little handles on it, so you can choose one different size, different shapes. You can even use a platter and just decorate a platter with this same kind of concept. But you also need some little small bowls, anything that you don't want running off of your, whatever your vessel is to hold it. So I've got lots of different little ramekins. We're going to make different dips and give a lot of variety to it. I like to, my kids are outside playing. Sounds like somebody's in trouble. He's crying, poor baby. But I like sweet, salty, crunchy, get a little bit of everything in there. With mine, I play with it a lot until I get it finally set up, but I like to start with the biggest item across the board, and then I can kind of build around that. I use homemade things, store-bought things, just whatever we're using. And it's just fun to turn any kind of breakfast, snack, or meal, put it on the board, make it look pretty, because we eat with our eyes as well. So the first thing I'm going to start with is some store-bought blueberry muffins, and these are just some streusel muffins that we're going to do. So we're starting right off the bat with some of the sweet. And I just kind of arrange them. There's 4 of us, and I don't plan on having a muffin, but if they end up having an extra one, there's only 4 of us eating breakfast this morning. My daughter's not a big breakfast person. She'll come in and have some bacon, but she's not really a big breakfast person. So we have our muffins lined up. I also, so for mine, I have a little cheese board that I use, but I mostly just use it for the knives that are in it. Because this is quite a small little cheese board, but I will use it to actually elevate different things too, to have it on different levels. But today, I'm just using it for the knives for this one. So next I also have some bacon that I've made, and I like to add some different decorations to it. So I have this can I'm going to use, and I'm going to take a little napkin and fold down inside of it so that if the bacon has any like residual grease that hasn't drained off, it doesn't get nasty in the bottom of it. Let's turn it this way. And just that gives a little bit of height and decoration, but it also keeps this bacon from being all in the bottom of the can. But you can rinse this can out also. You just kind of stack your bacon in there, and I use the taller ones to go so you can just pull straight out of it. This piece got a little bit extra crispy. Put that there. Now I also have some cinnamon raisin toast. I'm going to slice this in half just so we have those pretty little triangles. And then we're going to make a butter to go with this. So anything like the toast, I like to have something that you can put on it. You don't just want one item that doesn't make sense by itself. You want all the components that would go with it. So we have our little cinnamon raisin triangles. I'm just going to kind of fan them out. And we'll be able to, once we get all done, you'll be able to see everything a lot better. And remember, you don't have to put everything on your board. I like it to be a very full board, but you don't have to, it doesn't have to be slam packed. Like, you don't have to put every slice of bread on there. Just what you need. And I will play with it and move things around quite a bit until you get them exactly where you want it. So for the cinnamon raisin bread, we're going to make, here it is, a little cinnamon butter so that you can spread on it. So I just have a sweet unsalted butter. I'm going to pull about half of this stick off. And smush it up a little bit. You want it pretty softened. It feels like it needs to soften a little bit more. But also have some cinnamon sugar mixture that I'm going to put in there. Making like a faux compound butter. I mean, I guess it technically is a compound butter. You've got different things you're combining into it. But, which I may show y'all how to make some compound butters also. It's really fun, and it definitely adds to your charcuterie board, especially if you have a savory board. You can do a lot with some butters or compound cheeses and things. Or you could do like a full dessert board. Which compound butters you can use for anything. Like use it to top your steaks, your breads. So this really did need to soften up a little bit more, but we're going to get it smushed around anyway. We're going to work the butter and get that flavoring in there. And I do like to have the ramekins pretty full of whatever I'm making, but for video purposes today, this is all we need. We're not making it for any special event. It's just for our breakfast. So we're going to have that one, and I like to have it nearby whatever I'm going to be serving with it, so you know, like, this is the butter for that. I mean, you can always change it up however you like, but that way there's no question about what it is. Just going to move our board down just a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is I have a pre-purchased or a grocery store fruit spread. So I have this cute little Santa bowl that I'm going to use. I don't like putting these type of fruits down onto my board because the juices will run, so I like to have an extra base, plus it adds height. So we're going to put some fruit around it. And then we made a blueberry cheesecake pie the other night, and this is the leftover cheesecake mixture that we just added some whipped cream to. So this is going to be our fruit dip. And all this is half of pre-made no-bake cheesecake with about a half of a container of Cool Whip. We just mixed it around, and there's a little bit of lemon juice in this as well, just to cut some of that sweetness. So we're just going to fill our little dip container. And we'll leave our spoon in it. And now with our fruit tray, like I said, we just want to put it around the edges. Make it nice and pretty. Now I'm going to leave the honeydew over to one side. Just for keeping it out of my daughter's line of sight. If she sees it touch anything, she won't really want to eat it. Let's see, I have another spoon. Pick up some of those strawberry pieces. Kind of scatter those in there. I like variety of color. I just feel like it makes things look so much more appetizing. These blackberries look really good too. So the raspberries, there's a few in here that don't look the greatest. So we're going to pull those out, which is something you run into with no matter what fruit you use. You're going to find some that don't look the best. You just pull out the bad ones. Some grapes. Now these grapes you could actually use along the board as well. So let's see. We'll hold some of those out just to add some extra color to the actual board. But the berries and things really need to be on something else. All right, now, so we're going to bring our board back over a little bit, and you see, like I said, I play with everything quite a bit to see. I don't want two items, like my two decorative items right next to each other. So I'll have that one, and it even extends the board, kind of have it off the side. Now I do want it to be stable, so nobody's going to come and use it and knock it off, but I'll turn that to be like this. Oh, I can smell this bacon. It smells so good. And that way we get the color and it's kind of flowing still. Move it back over. I'm going to save these grapes until the end, and we'll fill in the gaps that we have with that. So next we're going to do our eggs. I want to turn it. This bacon is kind of more of a back item. I'm going to turn it where y'all can see it a little bit better. Alright, so this front part we're going to use with some boiled eggs we have. Now these are all items that we like to eat, especially for breakfast. So if you see something that you're like, I don't like eggs, then just leave the eggs out. But I can guarantee you these eggs will all be gone. The fruit will all be gone. The last thing sitting will probably be the muffins, funny enough. But this is just what our family likes best. So that's what I put on there. And it doesn't have to be a lot. We have a lot of options here, so you don't have to have like a ton of everything. We have some extra little color in the corner with our eggs. Move that out of the way. Okay. So I also have, have the bacon, but also another little meat option is some salami. Now, remember what I said about everything needs to be finger food. So I like to make the little salamis into rolls and kind of stack them so that they'll lay. If you like turkey or ham, just do the same thing with that. Make it so that you can pick it up with a toothpick and really eat it with your hands. So let's see. Usually I get the thin slice, like the deli sliced salami, but I like having options. So, and quick options, quick snacks to go to. So that's why we have the prepackaged. And this may not seem like a breakfast item to y'all, but all around the world, they do a lot of cured meats for breakfast. Just a few more pieces. Like I said, I move things around a lot, so that might not stay just right there. So, I opened up my Bon Maman advent calendar the other day and have a lot of these mini jellies and jams. So I'm just going to open the cap for that and kind of tilt it. We'll leave this here. That's an extra option for our toast and anything else. And then we also have a honey. So I'm going to kind of put the honey back here near the fruit. It adds some color, but also some options. So, use my cutting board. I'm going to slice up some apples and some cheese. I'm going to start with my apple. Now I'll probably only use one of these apples just because we have a lot of food on the board. But like I said, I like differences of textures and different options to have. We can kind of graze off of it for a little while. Move these a little bit thinner. And just kind of fan it out. And remember to take your seeds and everything out. You want everything ready to eat, ready to go. Nothing you really have to prepare or spit out a seed. And you can use any apples if you like Red Delicious or green apples, Granny Smith, that's fine too. Whatever, and you can even switch this for pear, but just something with that crunch factor in it. We like Honeycrisp. Alright, y'all. Let me wash off my board. I'll be right back so we can cut this cheese. Okay. So we're just going to make some little slices of cheese. And yes, I'm cutting through the package and everything. I usually, I like cheddar, but I like Colby Jack also, so I just use whatever I have in the house. Make a few little pieces of cheese. Move this over to the side. And this will give us some saltiness to our cherry and some of that smooth creaminess. And just pull the pieces apart. And now we added some different flavor varieties, but also some height. I'm just going to kind of squeeze this in over here between the muffins and the fruit. There we go. I'm done with this apple. And then, oh, I pulled out some cream cheese and stuff so we can make like a pepper cream cheese, which you can always, this one's a sweet one, for the for the raisin cinnamon. Ooh, excuse me, cinnamon raisin bread. So this is just a toasted cinnamon pear preserve that we opened up the other day with our biscuits that we made. But I'm going to take a little bit of cream cheese that's been softening and put it down in the bowl, and we're just going to pour some of this jelly right on top as another spread option. And you'll see I went with different color ramekins. We have some red, some white. Again, add color and just visual interest for our board. Let's see, I thought, yes, had another spoon for it. Just break up some of my jelly and put it right on top. And you can also use this in the salami if you like. Now I will add some toothpicks right here so you can pick up eggs, salami, any kind of fruit that you want. Put that in its little case. And now all we do is kind of fill in the gaps. So that's where these grapes are going to come into play. So you just add it, and everything on the bottom is edible too. So you just kind of fill it in to add some color and interest to it. So we'll start with our green. Let's take this and actually be like that so it's more inviting. And then we'll take our purple grapes and kind of fill those in as well. Now if you have some parsley or something like that, you could do that as well. There's really not many rules. Well, there's no rules because this isn't a true charcuterie board in the French terms of things, but we're just adding some extra color and making it all pretty. And there you have it. Our breakfast charcuterie board is all made. We'll give you some close-up pictures and let you see what it looks like. Now it's just time for breakfast and grazing. We'll have a few more for y'all to follow this, but hopefully you enjoyed it and it gave you some ideas. Just remember, nothing is set in stone. Use it for what you like and what your family enjoys. Alright, y'all come back and see the next ones that we have for y'all. See y'all next time. Bye.